You really got to stop trying to get more and more followers and hoping that the next post you're going to put up is going to go viral, because that shit won't make you rich. In fact, those that end up in that category who get a lot of views on a video, or they might gain a bunch of followers because they went viral on one particular thing, most times they end up broke. And it's because they don't know what to do with all these newfound views or newfound followers anyways. Instead, if you spend time producing content that's going to resonate with your audience and get them to engage, you're gonna have people in your DMs that are asking you, how do I pay? Instead of just simply scrolling by and not seeing you as the solution. Now, I say this because I've built 4 high 6-figure businesses strictly off a small follower audience and an email list. You don't need a big followership in order to build a successful business and afford the life that you want. If you're new to this channel, my name is Taryn, and I've worked with hundreds of small business owners across the world to help them build the freedom of money, time, and mental space back into their businesses. Kind of like Kim, who's a general contractor, and when she came to us, she was barely making $5,000 consistently, if that, and she was so very unprofitable in her business. 5 months later, a little bit of fine-tuning of her marketing message, and she just put up her highest month ever at $30,000 a month. So I'll show you how you can do that too. Now, the problem of you not getting clients routinely from your social media marketing is probably because you fall in one of 2 pools. First one might be you're probably throwing spaghetti at the wall because you don't really have any rhyme or reason behind what you're putting up. Or you're not putting up actual useful information for your prospects, so they don't see you as the solution to their problems. So that every piece of content or email that you put out there, it's gonna strike a chord with your audience, and it's gonna get them in your inbox wondering how they can pay you. And just in case you missed the first one, this video is part of a 5-part mini-series to help you build to consistent 30K months in your small business on only 3 to 4 days per week, so that you can build that freedom back into your business. So just hop down to the description below and click through, and you can watch all the videos in this series, especially the main one that happened right before this one. All right, fam, let's jam. Your marketing message is so important, because it's the first step of interaction that your prospects have with your business. If you miss the mark right off the bat, that prospect is just gonna scroll right on by, or they don't think your email is worth clicking on read, and you'll lose the opportunity to reach that prospect who could very well use your help. The problem is that we think our marketing is simply an act versus an intention. We view marketing as an act in that if I go and make a post today, or if I send out an email, then I have marketed for the day, so there's my green check mark. But that's actually the furthest thing from the truth. And it's probably why you're just hucking up spaghetti at the wall and wondering what sticks, and yet you're getting no engagement on top of it. Your marketing has to be done with intention, and it needs to be strategic. It needs to have intention baked into every single line that you write or script, so that it's not just a random post that dwindles attention as it goes. When we write with intention, we're going to catch attention. And that's what marketing is, trading attention. So the question is, how do I write with intention, and what does it look like? Well, first, you need to kind of figure out what exactly your avatar feels when you talk about their problems and their desires, so that we can fine-tune the language to match that. Emotions sell. Whether you're an emotional person or not, whether you're talking with emotional descriptive language comes easy to you or not, it doesn't matter. This has existed in marketing before probably both you and I were born. You see, the prospect goes through 4 different phases on 2 different timelines, with 2 different sets of urgency attached to those timelines. When we look at the immediate future, let's say in the next 30 days, they're either going to solve some smaller problems associated with the bigger problem that they have, or things are going to stay relatively the same. So if they don't solve those micro problems in the near future, what happens? All right, so let's look at a massage therapist who works with clients specifically with back pain. So if we're looking at this massage therapist marketing, we want to tune into the feelings and the emotions that those clients who have back pain are going to feel. So if they don't make any progress with the immediate problems that they have, nothing changes. And if nothing changes for them, then they might have to do things like take time off work, or they're going to miss out on some travel because their pain is way too unbearable. And this makes them embarrassed, and it makes them feel frustrated. They might lose some confidence, and they're going to become grumpy as they watch their everyday freedom start to become affected. And as we continue down the timeline of them doing nothing about the situation that they're stuck in, and we look down the road to the future, let's say like 2 to 3 years ahead, then this picture starts to paint a little bit darker. This person becomes couch-ridden, or they might have to change their job, or even worse, they might have to quit their job. Their spouse and their family begins to put pressure on them because they haven't been involved in the family activities. They're maybe missing out on things like family hikes, or they don't go to the kids' soccer games anymore because sitting there is just way too painful. And this starts to build some depression under the surface, and they start gaining weight, and they have sore joints aside from just their back pain, and now they're incredibly unhappy and they have zero motivation. On the flip side, when we look at how the things they want to do in the immediate future, well, they want to have some relief from the pain that they're feeling, meaning they want to be able to sit comfortably at their desk job, or they want to know that they can take a long road trip and not be bothered by the sitting or the vibration from the bumpy roads. They want to feel some relief and some inkling that their situation is improving so that they can feel hopeful about the plans that they might have in the future with their family. They want to be able to walk in the evenings with their spouse for 30 minutes because that time spent with their spouse is very important to them. And when we turn this clock to the future, this person might be hiking up the side of the Grand Canyon on a family trip with ease, and they're sitting in the stands watching their kids play basketball. And then they might have even started a workout program because this is the healthiest that they've ever felt, and their motivation levels are at an all-time high because they're continuing to get healthier. This might even spur the family to participate in this lifestyle also. So when we zoom out and we look at these 4 timelines from a bird's eye view, we can see the pathway that the prospect takes. And we can see it from 2 different scenarios: if they choose to not change anything, or if they choose to take control. And when we walk our prospects through this journey by using emotional language, words, and descriptions, their wants and desires and their fears and their frustrations, our language tends to resonate a lot greater with those who are reading. Because if I'm somebody with nagging back pain and I stop and read this story about how your client can now do these things, but they started by struggling to simply just stand up off the couch, and that's how I felt in this exact moment, it provides hope that you can help me too, because I see myself in that person who was the one struggling to get up off that couch because their back hurts so badly. We want to create some type of resonance with your audience and then strategically get them to take the next step. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in the next part of this 5-part mini-series, is how to take those engaged readers and get them into your inbox so that you can turn these readers into buyers. So once you're finished this video, just click through below and I'll take you to part 3, which is about building your container conversion method. All right, back to the language. Getting your language straight is only half the fix, but it's one of the first pieces that you need to get straight. If you take Andrea, a nutrition coaching consultancy company that we work with, but she had a random and sporadic messaging routine at best. And when Andrea got her messaging down and her strategy to complement, she took her nutrition coaching business from about $1,000 a month to over $10,000 a month, simply because she changed her language to resonate with menopausal women. Or it makes me think about Carrie, a virtual assistant agency for gym owners, who was focused on all the wrong problems and the wrong language to convey those problems. But when she dug into the emotional pain points of those gym owners and the consequences of not fixing those problems, paired with strategic social media and email marketing structure, she took her VA company from $1,000 a month to $15,000 a month. And she's making her perfect day of moving from the UK to Australia more of a reality every single day. So let's put the final piece together for your marketing. What do we do with this information now that we know how to communicate with our audience? I want you to put up 4 different types of content: authority building, interest reach, proof, and invitations. Authority building helps you take the words that you just mapped out and relay them to exactly what it is that you do. So talk about the problems that your prospects experience and bridge the story to how you can solve those problems with your services. Interest reach exists to merely get greater reach, to build your audience size and bring more people into your world to start conversations with. This simply just looks like telling your story, why you are where you are now and where you began and how you got there. Show your journey that you took. If you show your personality and you build some interest with your audience, they're going to begin to know you and like you a little bit more, which ultimately helps them buy into you as the person who can solve their problems. Social proof is exactly what it sounds like. It's just not simply enough to talk about what you do or how you do it, but you have to show what you do. And you do that by telling the stories of your clients' results, how they got there, where they started from, what were the steps that they took along the way, and where are they now? And most importantly, you want to show how you help them achieve that. Remember, people buy from people these days. So using social proof is a great way to relate the emotional words that we just built out and tie them to the story of one of your clients to help the prospects feel like you know exactly where it is that they are right now. While all these types of posts are templated inside our CEO Clubhouse mentorship program, the next video in our 5-part mini-series is gonna go over conversion. I'm gonna talk about how to make more frequent invitations and offers and how that's gonna help build your container of interested buyers and how to take those conversations and do just that, make them actual sales. So click through below and let's go head over there and let's make your marketing actually print some money now.